This is a piece of kit that many clock repair people have. It comes in very handy when you're putting a clock in beat. This is Timetrax Model 60. It's not available anymore, but I have some prices for the new ones that I will tell you in a minute. I bought this about 10 or 11 years ago, and it was $60 Australian, which is round about 40 bucks US in those days. And when you're setting the movement in beat, this alligator clamp clicks on one of the plates, front or back, it doesn't matter, as long as it doesn't interfere with the movement working. You then flip the Model 60 over, click it there, turn it on, and then let it sit. And over here, you've got a little button that increases and decreases the volume once it's connected. And it makes it very easy to hear the beat. And as you're moving the movement left and right slowly to get it in beat, this beast makes quite a difference. However, I have noticed, since I've had this for a long period of time, the last time I used it, this rubber up here has started to perish. You can see my glove sticking to it. So I thought, all right, it's about time I found a new one. So I started looking around to see what was available. And I found out that Timetrax Model 60 is not available anymore. So I first had a look at Cousins in the UK, and they have the new Model 185, which runs on 4 AA batteries, whereas the Model 60 came with a USB cable for charging. That's the cable that charges it. Goes into that port there, the mini USB port. Anyway, the Timetrax Model 185 is 275 GBP, British pounds, which equates to about $560 Australian. So it's not too bad inflation on one of these things in 11 years, from $60 to $560. So on the strength of that, I started looking round for other options, and I found some, which I'm going to tell you now. And after I've run through these prices, I've found another item that I think may work just as well, and I'm going to try that out, and I'll show you the results of what it is. Anyway, initially, the replacement for this model is the Timetrax 185. As I said before, it runs on 4 AA batteries, and it's 275 British pounds. Merritt's in Pennsylvania have a Timetrax Model 50, which is $61. It's battery operated and runs on 3 AAs. Time Savers in the US have the Timetrax Model 185 for $210. So that's the list of 3 different places I found you can get a replacement if you want a genuine Timetrax model. Right, now I'll connect the beat amplifier to a movement and we'll see it working, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at the new item that I purchased. I haven't opened the packet yet, so we'll have a look at that. Right, this is the new sound amplifier device that arrived yesterday that we're going to check out. I'll undo the packet at the moment, but I noticed here on the plastic case that enclosed it, it says power supply 3.7 volts, charging time 4 to 5 hours. So it means that we'll have a look at it, and then I'll charge it, and then we'll come back and we'll see how efficiently it runs. So this is an amplifier. It's got a lithium battery in it, rechargeable. So we'll open the packet up and see what's inside it. First up, this device is designed to be used as a voice amplifier. So this is a headset that's got a mic on it, but we'll be using that differently. We'll be connecting it into the device and then just putting it very close to the movement. Obviously a strap to connect it up to something other we probably won't bother about. Here's the charging cable. I'll undo that. We'll see what connectors we've got. A USB-A and a USB-C. Alright, so that's the charging device. Well, there's a user's manual. It's obviously not very hard to use because that's all there is of it. Alright, I'll open this up and put those away. And this is the unit here. got a clamp on the back, hang it on your belt I imagine, and then it's got a volume up and down. I'll see what this other one is. It's got microphone in, that's where we put the headset into there, then the volume meter, that's DC in directly. If you don't want to run it on a battery, you can just power it up from your wall supply. The buttons here, that's the on-off play button. It says mic mode. Press and hold the on-off button to turn the amplifier on. LED display will light. Insert headset mic and adjust volume to suitable level. Well, we can probably cope with that, I would think. Alright, so that's the unit there. I'll take the headpiece out of this bag. Not that we'll be using it as a headpiece, but we'll get it connected and see how it fits in. Okay, that fits into there once it's connected up, and then the microphone we'll then put close to our movement we were looking at before, and then we'll run it and we'll see how good a job it does. Alright, well that's going to take 4 to 5 hours to charge up, so I'll do that and then we'll return and check it out, see how efficient it is, and also see whether it's a replacement for $400 or $500 Timetrax units. Okay, we're ready to test out our new sound amplifier device, but before we do, this movement must have one of the smallest pendulum swing arcs that I've ever seen. You can see how tiny it is down there at the bottom, and as we go up here you can see, once I get it a good line on it, you can see that the escape wheel is still turning on that tiny little arc that the pendulum's swinging. Alright, we're ready to start the test on our new device, this one here, and as I showed you before, it has a microphone on it and a headband that you don't need to use because you're not going to use that when you're testing the beat on a clock. But what I have done to make it a little bit easier to show you how it works, I've got a couple of small alligator clips, one of which I've got here, and I've wired it onto the pickup for the microphone, which is that piece there. What we'll do now is we'll set up the device, I'll get it ready, and then we'll attach it to the same clock movement and we'll see whether this device is going to work properly or not. Alright, first up we'll put the microphone cable in, which goes there, then we'll press the on off button and the machine is now ready to work. It's on, and SP is for the speaker. When I tap on that you can hear it's working, so I'll put that aside and we'll set it up on the clock movement. Alright, I've set the pendulum up on the movement again and it's in beat. You can see the escape wheel turning. So what I'll do now is I'll put our alligator clip onto the side of the clock plate. And then we can adjust the volume up and down with this wheel here. You'll remember how quiet this movement runs when it's in beat. And there it is, a very cheap substitute that you can use instead of a Timetrax beat amplifier. That's very easy to hear. I'll take the alligator clip off now and you won't be able to hear the movement working. That's the sound without our new amplifier on. And there it is, as easy as that. Very cheap, less than $20. Right, I'll turn our device off now. Hold the on off button and it's now turned off. Well, I was very pleased how that little unit turned out in actual fact. You can also charge it up with USB round here, USB-A if you want to. That little slot there is for putting a micro SD card in, and then if you like, well, this is actually what it's designed for, you can record songs onto it or you can talk onto it or whatever you like and it will play them back. but I wanted to test it to see how it worked as a beat amplifier, and it works quite well. So it's a good substitute for those very expensive models, and or a backup in case you've got a problem with your Timetrax. A huge thank you to my Patreon, YouTube and Ko-fi members who make this video possible. Without their kind help, I would not be able to keep this channel alive and continue to make these videos. I can't thank them enough. If you want to support my channel, join my Patreon, my YouTube or my Ko-fi page by clicking the link in the description below. Memberships start at $2.